folks. I know we're a couple minutes late. My trusty co-host is here anyway. How are you, Bob?
I'm doing well, pal. How are you doing?
I'm good. People won't appreciate how funny this is until like a couple of weeks down the line. But Bob and I were just doing something else, and I was like, "I'll see you in 10 minutes." And Bobby came back and like he'd walked through like a thunderstorm. Like his hair's so,
Yeah, it still doesn't
and
look great, but
his eye, his eye was sort of like this. I said, "You okay, Bobby?" He said, "Yeah, I took a shower, soap in my eye." But other than that, you're good.
yeah,
Oh,
doing
good.
well.
Good. It's saying we have an overlay for this show, don't we? Where is it? Where is an overlay? We have so many damn overlays. Bob, if only you could see this side of this thing, man. Being a producer here, it's really something, you know. All right. Fed Dead Redemption. This is a big show for Fed Dead, Bob. I don't know if you heard, but this is the Twitch debut. This is the Thursday debut. There's a lot going on here, Bob. Are you excited?
I am. It's been a couple weeks since we did this with the moving the days, and last week being Double or Nothing week, and nothing important has happened in the World Wrestling Federation, which is good. Didn't miss a
Indeed.
whole bunch of big stories, so it's good.
Yeah, I mean, it's worth noting. We should probably lead with we did not do a Fed Dead after the last Fed Dead we did was the night of the big controversy with Sasha and Naomi. And
Yes.
to your credit, you kind of happy birthday, Quick Vic. Happy birthday, pal. Hope you've had a good day. And to your credit, Bobby, you wasn't too keen on talking about the Fed that week. Do you want to speak to that very, very briefly? I know it's kind of escalated some. Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, there's not much to say. Like, Sasha and Naomi are in the right here, and I really do hope it gets resolved one way or another. Just, going to be probably a couple months where there's no movement on either side, and then one side will eventually probably start discussions. I think they're both going to end up back, but we'll see, man.
Yes. Yeah, I tend to agree. I think Sasha is less certain to be back, if that makes any sense whatsoever. And oh wow, quick bit. I forget the time zones. His birthday has just started.
Oh, cool.
He came in here seeking happy birthdays only half an hour into his damn birthday. What do you think of that, Paul? That seems disrespectful, doesn't it?
Well, we might have been the first people to wish him happy birthday, though, so that's cool.
That's pretty cool. Yeah, make a note of that if so. Okay, we have a lot to talk about. Hell in a Cell is this very weekend. So before we even get into the details, Bob, are you excited for the pay-per-view weekend, pal?
Yeah. I mean, I kind of feel like I felt with Backlash where, like, the expectations are going to stay kind of low, and then, if we get 4 good matches of the 6, I think, have been announced right now, they'll probably add a couple more. But yeah, if we can get 3 or 4 good matches, I don't think I'm going to watch it till Monday anyway, so you can kind of skip a lot of the stuff. It's not good, but yeah, I'm excited.
It'll be interesting. Couple things to note here on the Twitch side of things. Lord Lambo 98 subscribed, Riley subscribed, and Skeptical Sports followed, which means we're now at 200 followers. Bobby, 200. That familiar fist pump that you'll be seeing so much of very, very soon. Okay, let's talk about Raw for the last couple of weeks. Okay. Now, Randy Orton is not active at the moment, right? Riddle he's been teaming with the Street Profits. He did something. What did he do this week? I forget.
Riddle was teaming with Shinsuke.
This Randy Orton thing's kind of brutal, isn't it? What do we know? What's the situation with Orton, Bob? You're a scoopster.
I don't really know. I haven't heard like one way or another. Because it kind of felt like they were going to do the Riddle match at Money in the Bank and then do Randy at SummerSlam. But now Money in the Bank's kind of in a flux too with, they've kind of already established this culture where like the top stars aren't going to work the non-stadium shows anymore, which is probably something we'd get more into at a different time. But, it's not a deal. So yeah, it's kind of all over the place right now. And I mean, they could still do Roman Riddle there and then, Roman and Randy at SummerSlam and then Drew in the UK, but we'll see.
Yeah, it's interesting. There's definitely there's a weird balance at play here with top guys. These feel like Coliseum videos almost. They're very strange, the vibe that these events have. How do you think they've adjusted with Riddle? As you said, did match with Shinsuke this week. Last week was with the Street Profits. How do you think they're doing with Riddle and just kind of keeping him moving?
Yeah, I think they're doing a good job, keeping him on TV, and I don't have a problem with either of the teams he was in. I think both the matches were actually pretty good.
Okay. Judgment Day, they have gone in the direction many of us assumed with Liv Morgan. I just saw the news about Liv Morgan. She's in a movie.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool, huh?
Yeah, it's exciting.
Good for Liv. I like this thing of having lived with these two, top established kind of legends. And I know Finn's like a lesser, but he's still, I think wrestling fans like Finn Balor.
Yeah.
And she's popular in her own right. I like this. The Judgment Day thing is not sure. Where are you stand on this whole picture at the moment, Bobby?
Yeah, I mean, again, I'm not like into Judgment Day. I think the 6-person match is going to be very good. I'm excited for it. I'm glad they put it on the pay-per-view. Hope they give it some time. But yeah, I mean, the Judgment Day stuff's not for me. But overall, again, I think it'll be good.
I do too, and I do like messing around with kind of these, mixed tags and mixed trios here. Like I think it's a fun match format. They don't do enough with how good their women's division is, honestly. Hopefully it's fun. We'll get to that, later. I'm looking here at the lineups for these recent Raw weeks. Where do we stand on the returning all caps professional wrestler who is demanding people will stand up and shut up? Bob, what do you think?
She's won every time she's been back so far. So it's 3 wins in a row. They seem to be building something. Yeah, 4. So I don't know if they're building her up for Money in the Bank. They showed her Money in the Bank win and cash in on Raw this week. So I don't know if that's what they're doing or if they even know. I know you think it's going to be Carmella, but
yeah, I mean, I'm mostly playing. I don't know. I think there's a good chance she's in the Money in the Bank as kind of like a familiar face and a kind of star name. I don't think she should win it necessarily because there's like new people that could benefit more. What do you think of the presentation? I think she's still figuring out what she wants it to be, but like it's kind of neat to have her just be a human baby face, isn't it, Bob?
Yeah, it kind of felt like they couldn't keep going all in with the magic stuff and they didn't want to go all the way back. So it's kind of middle ground, which I think we were both kind of expecting it to be.
Yeah.
It's been fine. I don't love the song, but whatever.
Yeah, hey, the middle ground is interesting though, because honestly, the middle ground is really just the doll itself. Like her personality seems to be totally just like her, which
Yeah.
I saw like she did like a Raw Talk thing and looked completely uninterested, which fair, I would be too. But she's only done one promo and she did the Nikki stuff. I think they're just kind of gonna right now. She's basically positioned as I would position her, which I think is kind of this was the promo I was talking about. Don't have an out. I don't know if you've heard of Don't Have an Out. He's pretty popular on Twitter. He says, Lex had an amazing promo last week where she buried the fuck out of her and Nikki's current gimmicks, which popped me tremendously. Her promos in general have been odd, like she knows there's no direction for her. Well, I think Alexa is probably more aware now of their chicanery than she was before, so she's probably having fun with it. I definitely think a writer slipped that one through about her and Nikki. It was interesting. I honestly, though, so far in terms of booking, I think she's probably in the right role.
Yeah.
Cody Rhodes had a very, very, very discussed match with The Miz. Bob, would you like to add to the discourse 2 weeks later?
Not really. I mean, it wasn't very good. I like their first TV match quite a bit. I don't have a problem with Miz. I know a lot of people don't like him. This just didn't work. I mean, sometimes things just kind of fall apart. It is what it is.
Indeed. How have we felt about the build-up to Big Bob versus MVP and Omos, Bobby?
It's fine. It's kind of unnecessary.
Yeah.
I don't think they needed a third match, but at least if it was Lashley against MVP, that's a little bit new. I don't know if MVP's cleared to wrestle at this point or whatever. I don't know how much of the cane is a gimmick and how much because I know he had surgery, I think, last year. So, But yeah, I mean, I don't know. And we've kind of both liked the Lashley and Omos matches, but I don't think we need 3 months of them.
Yeah, I know it's tough. Okay, a couple weeks back, Asuka beat Becky to face Bianca at the pay-per-view. I think we all kind of assumed it would be turned into a triple threat. That is indeed what's happened. How do you feel about how they've got there? I will say, and I don't watch it as closely as you, but it feels like Bianca's kind of in the backdrop at the minute to Becky, which is a weird element I don't love. But how do you feel about this kind of build to Hell in a Cell?
I think it's been good. Again, I think the match is going to be really good. I would have honestly maybe just done Bianca and Becky one more time and have it be in the cell and kind of have that be your ultimate blow off of it and just brought Asuka back the night after. But, I was going to say Bianca and Asuka's a fresh matchup, but they've run it, twice in the past 3 weeks or whatever. So that would have, but either way, it's going to be good. And I think it's been a strong build. It's been probably the second strongest build on Raw.
I definitely think it will be a strong match. I just, I want to see Bianca more central. From what I've seen, it's kind of been a little bit of a problem. Becky, I think they have a lot of fun writing Becky's character, and it can it can have an effect elsewhere. There is talk of buffering.
Oh no.
Bob, there's talk of buffering. I hope we're fine. Hope we're coming through okay. I have great trauma when it comes to buffering, as Bob can test. Please update us on how this is working on Twitch. Update on Mustafa Ali. Bobby, how's he coming along? I was concerned when he first came back and he was kind of slotted immediately back in a certain spot. He's on the card this weekend, as far as I know. How's he doing?
Yeah, it kind of feels like the only thing that makes sense for all this is if he wins the title. I know the U.S. title kind of is what it is, but like, I don't know what you do with him if he just loses. If he loses, he just probably goes back to what he was doing before, he left and came back, and just, I don't get it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it'll be interesting. We got predictions later. We'll also do our cage match predictions. Bob, have you watched Main Event lately?
I haven't.
The 26th of May edition featured the following matches: Commander Aziz versus Akira Tazawa. Who do you think took that one, Bobby?
Probably should have been Tazawa, but
who do you think took it?
Aziz.
Indeed. Is he still with Apollo?
I think so. They're not really on TV, but I believe they are still together.
They're dominating on Main Event, Bob, because Apollo took them. That time I froze, but I'm back now. Apollo main event with a win over T-Bar.
It's probably good.
Dominance for Apollo and Commander Aziz. That match has got one rating of a 6. Do you remember in the day when people would watch those shows? Like people like Oracle would watch them for their spreadsheets and stuff.
They were pretty good for a while.
Yeah. What happened to that? The glory days.
Yeah.
Oracle, when you watch this, DM me what happened to these shows. I want it to be extensive too, and then we can discuss it on the Late Night Grin.
Where is Oracle? He's not here to preview with us.
I think he's recovering from Maxwell Jacob Friedman burnout. I think he's got infuriated with how much Maxwell Jacob Friedman has been. Sorry, Max Friedman has been on his timeline. I think he got mad about it. He didn't tell me he broke his phone, but I just got that sense from his tone. I'm sure it's fine. This week on Main Event, R-Truth defeated T-Bar. Apollo Crews defeated Akira Tozawa.
Okay. It's probably good.
NXT 2.0. Is this show still bad?
Yeah, I haven't really been keeping up with it just because, I don't like the Braun Breaker stuff.
You fucking hate this show, don't you?
I try to find things I like, but it's hard, man.
You are one of the more easygoing, just steady characters I have ever met in this scene. And I can tell just from your tone, you get absolutely no enjoyment out of NXT 2.0. I'm right, aren't I, Bobby?
Yeah, well, because, Braun lost the title the first time on Halloween Havoc or whatever. And I'm like, well, this is stupid. I'm not going to watch. And then he got it finally. I'm like, well, all right, they fixed that. And then he lost it again, got it back. And now he's just in like a never-ending feud with Joe Gacy.
Owned. Ben is subscribed with Prime. Thanks, Ben. Hope you're well. That Prime subscription thing is awesome. That's free for the viewer, but it gives us the grin. It's good stuff. Yeah. Me and Bob discussed it in the DMs today. That should be private. There's at most 9 good wrestlers on the Tuesday program. Bob, this is a new game. Name the good wrestlers on the Tuesday program. Ready?
Yes. Let me pull it back up real quick.
Okay, this is going to be an official list. If anyone is left out, do not blame me. Blame Bob. You in the chat, you're free to throw names at us. We'll try our best. It's going to be very interesting.
Creed Brothers, Roderick Strong, Carmelo Hayes, Braun Breaker, Io Shirai, if we're still counting her, Cameron Grimes, maybe Solo Sikoa, and maybe one of Duke Hudson or Grayson Waller.
That was 9, wasn't it? Did you do the mathematics quickly there, Bob?
Yep.
It felt like you kept count. That was very professional of you. Mm-hmm. If I'd have done that bit, I'd have just thrown names out and asked the chat how many I named. That was good. Was that the list? Is that the conclusive? That's it, right? You're confident.
Mm-hmm.
There you go, folks. Shout out to Bob for his accuracy. Considered that before. We don't prepare this show that way, but he seemed prepared, so good for him. All right, we'll talk about the Takeover show later, which is an absolutely massive rib. Hang on a second. He counted to 10, actually, Meech. Am I right, Bob? Wasn't it 10? 9?
Yes.
So 9? Was it 9 or 10?
It was 9 in the DM, but then I added who'd I add? I added one of Duke Hudson and Grayson Waller.
So you've vowed. Who's the 9?
Probably Duke Hudson instead of Grayson Waller.
So Grayson Waller makes it 10.
Yeah.
This is confusing. What are we showing about again? Wrestling. NXT 2.0?
Yes.
Okay. Is it good?
No, not really.
How many good wrestlers did you say on that show?
Probably about 9 or 10.
Just one or the other? You're not specific in that regard?
No.
SmackDown. They're doing this business with Raquel Rodriguez and Ronda Rousey. Is it good?
It's okay. It's probably not what I would do, but they don't have any other women, so.
Is it okay or is it bad?
It's fine. It's not like actively bad, but
Right,
like,
okay.
if you're not going to have Ronda face Leah or Natalia or whoever, then, Raquel, you just got to roll with it.
Okay. That's fine. That works for me. Is SmackDown a rib?
I think not having Roman there and then immediately losing Sasha was probably not the best thing for them.
Do you think anyone at Fox watches SmackDown?
Probably not. They probably just wait for the number to roll in, see that it's the same every week, and just keep going.
Am I making out with it like last week it actually dropped finally after just existing at like 1.9 for 2 years? Didn't it drop finally a couple weeks ago?
It did, yeah.
Do you think they'll actually do something if it like drops legitimately? Because you're right, it was the same number every week. It felt like for a while.
Probably not. Like, I think. Well, it feels like the TV deals and this for AEW too. I think for both the WWE shows and both the AEW shows, they're all just going to get renewed because it's just easy content for relatively not a lot of money and a good amount of viewers.
Yeah,
but
I don't think it'll be on Fox after this round, but only because I think they're going to go like full in bed with, NBC Universal and that whole.
It's fair.
That Peacock deal, like, that's a big commitment on that end,
Mm-hmm.
Wouldn't it be interesting if one of the two shows was actually a Peacock exclusive? It'd be such an interesting, like, change for wrestling to adjust to,
Mm-hmm.
I wonder what will happen with that regard. Do you reckon we're going to see one of the big ones actually be streaming exclusive soon, Bob?
No, I think NXT could, but yeah, probably not Raw or SmackDown.
What about on the AEW side? I know this is fed there, but it intrigues me. Rampage, Brandon Thurston's
Yeah.
Rampage is a really interesting fit for a streaming service.
Yeah, I would move Rampage just because I don't think the 10 p.m. time slot's ideal.
Yeah.
Go
ahead.
Well, and that just makes it more fixed. So when the NHL playoffs are on or the NBA playoffs are on, you could still keep it at 7 or whatever every week. Just run it. Yeah, 7. They could run it. It's probably the most ideal time, just on HBO Max or whatever. Just live at 7. Just have it immediately go to on demand. But
yeah, and I'm bullish on the Rampage time slot actually becoming Ring of Honor because that time slot is such an absolute L anyway. It's 10 p.m. on a Friday. Ring of Honor did like 200K. It would be kind of a pop, right? On 50, what the fuck it would do? I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Interests me. I don't know. Anyway, back to the Fed. SmackDown. How is Gunther doing?
He's actually been okay. He could probably win the Intercontinental title, but it's also never on TV, which it's like the only belt they actually have exclusive to them at this point, other than the women's title. So you'd think they'd feature it a little more, but I think Ricochet had like one TV match in the last month.
What is the deal with Ricochet, bro? Like, what's going on?
It's weird. I kind of feel bad because like he cares so much and he actually likes being there. You could tell, and just he'd be better off elsewhere, but like he genuinely enjoys being there. And I guess at some point, whatever. But yeah, it sucks, man.
It's just like I'm not saying he should be a top guy. I think there was a window where you could have done something with him, but like it feels like most times throughout Fed history, they could have at least used him as like a good match guy. He doesn't even appear to have many chances to have matches. As you said, like he's not even used as like a mid-card bump machine. He's just like, he just kind of.
It doesn't make sense. Like, throw him out there, man.
It really is strange. I don't know. All right, other things on SmackDown. Drew Day, I hear they're calling it, Bobby. That's pretty witty, isn't it?
Very good. Very clever.
Yeah. What about the Brawling Brutes?
Yeah. A
Big,
lot of stuff on SmackDown just kind of feels like filler, and
yeah.
that's a bummer because it's a lot of guys I like. They're just not being positioned well, and I don't think Raw has that problem. Most people on Raw kind of feel slotted where they should be.
Yes. Would you agree that the Brawling Brutes has got big WWE Universe mode energy?
Yes,
Yeah. What about Drew Day? Have you heard about Drew Day?
it's clever.
So do you get why it's so? You know, New Day.
Mhm.
They've been teaming with Drew McIntyre, and Drew McIntyre's name's Drew, right?
Right.
So you put Drew in the place of New. What is it? What do you get, Bob?
Drew Day.
Fuck, see, you
Oh,
got it.
shit.
There you go.
Yeah.
We should do something with that.
Hmm.
We'll put on a t-shirt, latenightgreenshop.com. What was our thing for late? What was the shop's URL? Do we remember that?
No.
Remember we had a shop?
Yeah, we still technically have it. It's in the link tree in the bio.
Yeah. I saw this thing on SmackDown the other day. Drew McIntyre was teaming with the New Day, right? So rather than New Day, they were Drew Day.
That's good stuff.
I want to talk about this. LA Knight is Max Dupree.
Oh yeah.
Pop.
It's fine. I mean, I don't know. Like, I don't get upset about the name changes anymore because usually you just call them whatever. But I probably wouldn't have done it. But whatever. We'll see how it goes.
Your dog's kicking the shit out of you tonight, Bobby, you know?
I know.
I'm glad it wasn't when we did the other thing we did that we can't talk about yet, you know? Interesting. Joe versus Bob equals job.
Wow.
My God. That seems aggressive from each, right? All right. Let's do some weekend preview stuff. Yeah? In fact, before we do that, is anything else for SmackDown?
No. I did say the other day that it's probably not the worst idea in the world for them to sign Bray Wyatt, try and bring him back. I stand by that.
I agree.
Actually add a decent amount to that program right now.
All right, so how do we tackle this? Does that say more about WWE or Bray Wyatt? It's WWE, right? Like it feels like I think him and Braun will come back at some point. I'm convinced of this. What do you do with Bray?
It's definitely more on them because, again, they're two big stars on SmackDown aren't there for various reasons. And, obviously Charlotte's not in that kind of tier, I don't think, but she's obviously someone who's not there now too. Big E's hurt. They lost Cesaro, who obviously they never saw as a top guy, but probably right now he would be elevated.
Yeah, I agree.
So yeah.
What do you do with Bray though? What would you do with Bray? If you had the pencil, Bob, and you got Bray back, what would you do with him?
I don't know if you have him come back and feud with Drew.
Yeah,
it's probably your top heel if he comes back, and I mean, you keep him away from Roman because the biggest thing they did wrong with the character is give him the title in the first place. So I would keep Bray away from the title if you bring him back. Have him work with Drew or have him take out New Day, or just have him come back and just beat local talent for a little bit. Just having him there, and the Firefly Funhouse stuff, people liked it. It was over in the building, and it's not a bad idea.
I think it would probably be best if he came up with something new, just because I think the thing now is you've killed it, right? Like you've made such a fool of it. Yeah, I don't know. All right. Shout out to Joe Hansen, who followed, or how? Okay, let's talk NXT in your house. Okay?
Yes.
Here we go. Cameron Grimes, Carmelo Hayes, North American title. Bobby, your pick, but more importantly, your thoughts.
Well, Cameron Grimes is another guy who could probably go to SmackDown and make an impact right now. I know the call-ups recently have been a bit of a mixed bag, but yeah, I've kind of been saying, put that belt on Carmelo and get him ready for the NXT title so you can get Braun Breaker out of there. So I will go with Carmelo. And it's nothing against Cameron Grimes. He's very good. I just don't know that he needs to be down there anymore.
Yeah, I get that totally. Someone in the chat, please keep track of this because this is greatly useful to us. We're going to do the cage match game again, okay? I will be setting the lines. Bobby will predict, and I'll not do a pick. I'll just kind of sometimes give my read, but I am simply setting the line, to be clear. Bobby, the line for this one is a 7.5. Carmelo Hayes, Cameron Grimes, 7.5 is the line. Over, under.
Slightly under, because 7.5 is a little high.
Okay. Chat, someone keep noticing what you think you're probably in the 7 to 7.5 range rather than over. Okay,
Yeah.
that makes sense. I think it'll be a hell of a match. It's the strongest match on the show, I thought. Thank you. Thank you, pal. I appreciate you. All right. Pretty Deadly versus the Creed brothers. For the tag team titles, if Julius and Bruce lead, they must leave Diamond Mine. Thoughts on this whole build, and then give your pick, Bobby. Go ahead.
I mean, it's been good. Like I like Pretty Deadly. I think they're a good team. I obviously are very high on the Creed brothers. Having them lose and then leave Diamond Mine, Diamond Mine quietly going away, would make a lot of sense for a few reasons. You know, so that's probably what they're going to end up doing. But I'm excited for it.
I agree. What I've seen on the TV with Roddy Strong has actually been pretty fun. And like, I know he's not the most dynamic personality, but at least it's kind of a natural story. And Roddy's hot tag on Tuesday, I don't know if you saw that, Bob. That was some peak Rod Strong wrestling. I'm going to set the line for this at a 6. I'll be totally transparent and saying what I've seen of Pretty Deadly has not been particularly impressive. Maybe I'm missing something. I'll set the line at a 6, Bob. What do you think? Pretty Deadly, Creed Brothers, over under 6.
I'll go over.
Okay, an over for Bobby, a confident over. All right. Toxic Attraction versus Katana Chance and Caden Carr. Katana is Casey, right?
Yes.
This is for the women's tag team titles. Bob, this is going to be bad, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be very good. Like I like Casey and Caden. The other two are not great.
Yeah.
And I don't think they're going to lose the titles. Honestly, kind of felt like Casey and Caden could just come up and challenge for the titles on the main roster, but those are in a bit of a bind at the moment. But if they are going to actually do this women's tag tournament at some point, I would like to see those two come up and be in it instead of just sitting in NXT with those titles instead. But yeah, I'm gonna go with Toxic Attraction to retain.
Yeah, I don't know, this Toxic Attraction stuff, Bobby. I'm going to set the line at I'll say a 5.
Yeah, probably a little under.
That's a shame, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
That's a shame. Mandy Rose versus Wendy Chu. A very Antic heavy build here, right? Like with her kind of constantly clowning Mandy and doing stuff. I saw like they did the skit. What was the skit where she stole their clothes and stuff, and she was she was. What is her? I'm not even doing a bit here. I saw the thing where she was sleepy. What is she? Is she become just like a prankster now? Where's the bit?
Yeah, that's kind of the bit. She sleeps a lot and does pranks on people, I guess. It's not really fleshed out.
Those two pieces, though, I don't think they necessarily go together, I don't know if they go together. She seems to be doing a great job with the character. It seems to be over, but falls on the build and then the match itself, Mandy and Wendy Chu. Bob, what you got?
Build's been okay. I like Wendy Chu. I don't know that she needs to be champion, but
yeah,
it feels like someone else should be, but probably not her. So it's probably going to stick with Mandy. I just don't know who's going to beat her at this point.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like Wendy Chu's the kind of character you put the belt on, right?
No.
I don't feel like it, but okay, we have another game from our friend in the chat, the infamous Don't Have an App. He says, and I quote, Joseph, what is Britt's highest rated match from her title run, and what is Mandy's highest rated match from her run? Okay. You ready, Bob?
Mm-hmm.
Who do you think is going to win this game?
It feels like Britt Statlander should be higher than anything Mandy's had, but we'll see.
All right, hang on. I'm looking here. Dr. Britt Baker, DMD. Her highest rated match, it appears, will be, yes, Chris Statlander, which is a 7.04. Mandy Rose has got, you're correct, Bobby, her highest rated is a 6.51. A fatal 4-way from TakeOver. Remember that one? It did get pretty good in the end, in fairness. How much of that you want to credit Mandy for is your call. The worst matches of their run. Mandy's was that very, very rough outing with Dakota Kai, which got a 3.53. And Britt's was Oh my god. A 3.62 with Nyla Rose. I would also like to point out that Britt and Rebel versus Nyla and Vicky got a 1.42, which is one of the funniest ratings in the history of wrestling.
I mean, that's
not on
fair.
Britt, but it's still funny. All right. Anyway, as we were saying, I'll set the line for this. Quite frankly, on over under for a 5. Mandy Rose, Wendy Chu. What do you think?
Probably under.
Feels like it, doesn't it? This feels like it's gonna be really bad. I didn't want to be an asshole because Wendy Chu, I think, is working to a character, so I didn't want it to seem like I was being spiteful. It's more what she's trying to do rather than what she can do. I think this could be quite bad. Yeah. Anyway, main event: Braun Breaker versus Joe Gacy. If Breaker is disqualified, he will lose the championship. Bob, they haven't got the balls to do this, have they?
No, I don't think so. It's always just kind of been a stupid rule in general. I've never really liked that rule. I didn't like it when TNA did it, and I know before that it was a rule too, but TNA was my first exposure to it, and I'm always like, well, that's stupid, because the one time that I remember them doing it was that Sting and Abyss match, and it was very stupid.
Yeah. How bad is this Joe Gacy stuff from what you've seen?
It's not great. And I think like there's some value there in him being a character. I just think he's too high on the card.
Is it like, are we at emergency stations with old Braun Breaker? Because I'm hearing from my many sources, and by that I mean my timeline, that he is really struggling right now. And I think you and I are both are big fans, but like, you don't feel like he's getting a lot of help on the matchmaking side of things. Can we be concerned about Braun Breaker at this point?
Yeah, I mean the matches are bad. The crowd doesn't really care about him, which that only tells you so much in NXT because it's the same 200 people every week. But like, yeah, it's not great. Like after winning the title back, I would have liked something a little better for him.
I have news. I missed a match. I'll go back to that in a second. Okay.
Oh yeah.
Over under 6 for Joe Gacy versus Braun Breaker.
Under.
Probably. Tony D'Angelo, Channing Stax Lorenzo, and Troy Two Dimes Donovan versus Legado del Fantasma. Losing team joins the winning team stable. Our friend Monty over at Wrestle Purist, that piece of shit, he loves this stuff, He says this is the best stuff in wrestling. Does it suck, Bob?
No, the build's actually been very fun. I'll give him credit for that.
Good.
It's been a lot of fun. Tony D'Angelo has gotten a little bit better. I still don't know what his feeling is. Legado del Fantasma should have been on SmackDown for the past 18 months. So they're kind of have a strong point there. But yeah, the build's been good. I'll give him credit.
Good. Who is your pick here, Bobby?
That stipulation's kind of weird.
Yeah.
Kind of makes it harder to pick. It feels like something where the heels probably would win, and then you'll do one more match, like for, they can dissolve that then.
Yeah. Who are the heels?
Legado del Fantasma.
Wait, is Troy Two Dimes Donovan a babyface? So Two Dimes. Sorry.
Yeah.
Apologize. Channing Stax Lorenzo?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm setting the line as a... I mean, Legado are really good. It's set at 5.5.
Go slightly over.
Yeah, I think so. I actually wouldn't say it's a 6, but I was a coward because I've never seen the other two guys wrestle. All right, any excitement at all for In Your House, Bob?
Not really, but actually Carmelo and Cameron Grimes will be very good.
It's in a rough spot, isn't it? The brand, if we're being honest, it's in a rough spot. It's a shame. Okay. Hell in a Cell. I co-sign what Bob said earlier. It feels like, this is not going to be particularly hyped or anticipated, but it'll probably be quite good because the talent level is so high. Let's give some predictions. Let's kind of go through the cage match element also. Let's start with Ezekiel versus Kevin Owens. Bob, how have you gone with this build? Have you enjoyed this stuff?
I've loved it. Good. I think it's been great. I don't know how well it's going to go over when someone other than Kevin Owens is on the other side of it. I think he just really plays well off of it. But for now, it's been very good.
So that's not a surprise to me because from what I've seen has been funny and Kevin Owens is great. Any concern about the and then the bell rang element of this? Because I'm not that Elias sucks or Ezekiel sucks, but he is not dynamite in that arena. What do you think the match will look like?
Yeah, it'll be interesting because I think Owens is good enough to probably carry it.
Yeah,
But I think you need to be careful with how much time you give it too.
I would
Like
agree. Yeah,
you get out of there in 10 or 12 minutes, it'll probably be fine. Any longer than that, it's probably going to be a problem.
yeah, I would agree. Who's winning this?
Um,
Hmm.
Probably Ezekiel.
Yeah, probably right.
Yeah.
Feels like he's gonna like be a step ahead or whatever.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Which I mean, Owens will be fine. Like he could just go right into Money in the Bank and be one of the guys that could win it.
yeah. Owens is. I mean, he's
Yeah.
bulletproof, but it's just the way you're telling the story. It feels like the babyface is kind of gonna be a step
Mm.
ahead. I'll set the line at a 6.
Um, go slightly over.
Okay, slightly over. All right. Bob Lashley versus Omos and MVP. 2-on-1 handicap match. What do you think? Where are we at on this?
I mean, I hope Lashley wins because I want them to heat him up for the summer. Um, and it kind of makes a lot of sense for him to win, I think.
Mm-hmm.
But I also don't know what you do with Omos and MVP after this then. But that also
Yeah,
maybe shouldn't be the focal point. Maybe you should sacrifice that for, getting one of your top guys back into the top position.
it's difficult. It feels like the cage was a really nice way to end it, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I think you can really just close with the cage and been fine. I love MVP. He has his strong point. I don't think anyone needed him to be inserted in the in ring part of this program. Um, yeah, I don't know. I don't think it's going to be a Matt Classic necessarily, Bob. I'll set the line at a 4.5.
Yeah. Probably a little bit under actually, but
Mm-hmm.
there's gonna be the big spot where Lashley takes Omos out and has MVP all by himself. And I mean that'll be
Yeah.
cool. I enjoy that.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. 1 second, Bobby. Okay. Where are we at here? I don't know how the modding works, but if there's a mod in the chat, that'd be appreciated. I don't know how to do it from here because I'm via StreamYard, but if someone's around, that'd be much appreciated. Yeah, I don't know about this, man. I love Bobby. I'd like to move on, quite frankly. Okay. Theory and Mustafa Ali. Big spot, Mustafa Ali. You kind of hinted earlier at where you think the finish may be. What it should be anyway. What do you expect to happen in the match itself, Bobby?
It should be good. Ali's good. Theory for all the negative stuff about him, he's decent in the ring. But yeah, I think it has to end with Ali winning though.
Yeah, I would agree, but do we think that's what they're actually going to do?
Well, probably not, unfortunately.
Yeah, indeed. It would be great. It certainly would be great if they did, but I just don't know if that's what we're going to get here. I'll set the line at a 6.5, Bobby. That's where I'm going to set it. The match itself should actually be good, but I'm going to set the line at 6.5.
Yeah, I'll actually go a little bit over. I think it's actually going to be very good in the ring.
Yeah, I think unfortunately the finish may actually hurt the rating in that regard. I think people may be bummed out by the finish, but yes, we shall see. Okay, 6-person mixed tag team match: Finn Balor, AJ Styles, and Liv Morgan versus the Judgment Day. I'm looking forward to this, Bob. I think you are too, right?
Yeah, I think it's gonna be a lot of fun. For the thoughts on the angle aside, I've been looking forward to the 6-person match, and it's got a lot of people I enjoy watching in the ring, and that can really help lessen the blow of a build that's a little subpar.
Yeah, absolutely. Do we think this Judgment Day thing's going to stick, or is it going to be one of those things that kind of fades away? Do you think it's getting over? Do you think it's connecting? What do you think? When do you think it's going to go long term? This Judgment Day faction?
Yeah, that's really I don't know if they're going to add people or eventually you imagine they're going to go for some titles. Like maybe not Edge and Roman, just because they already did that. But like Damian Priest should probably go for the U.S. title, or even maybe be in a program with Roman if he ever actually is on Raw. Rhea Ripley, it seems like they're still probably going to have her go after Bianca.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're going to stay together for a while. I don't really know what the end game's ultimately going to be, but
Do you think at any point we end up with them doing like their favorite, faction runs the show? Like, do you think they could get there with them? Do you think they'd ever be tempted to just have them have like the belts and it kind of be Judgment Day as the centerpiece? Because that would be a choice, Bobby, as they say.
Yeah, I don't think so. I think there's too much other talent on Raw that you couldn't just do that.
Yeah, I hope you're right. Sincerely, I'll set the line at a 7. Over under.
I'll go over. I mean, you look at the pieces here; all 6 of them can work. Yeah, good recipe, and they should get time because I think they'll probably add a couple SmackDown matches because SmackDown has no matches right now. But I think everything's going to get some time.
It's incredible, man. That is an extraordinary bit of this, right? Like, they have no matches. This is just an exclusive show to Raw. It's wild. Okay, Bianca, Asuka, and Becky for the Raw Women's title. This is one of the 2 matches that can main event. I think the other one will main event, but this I think has a shot to. Where you're at, Bob? Is the prediction as simple as it seems for this one?
Yeah, I think Bianca just has to retain, and then maybe you do Bianca and Asuka in a singles match, at Money in the Bank, just kind of keep things moving along, and just go from there. It's going to be very good.
I think so too. It does feel like they're going to do Becky and Bianca again. There was a rumor about them saving it for a stadium show. Now that has obviously changed because But will they still see Vegas and Money in the Bank as a bigger show? Will they do it there?
I don't know because the poster for that kind of changed immediately, and it doesn't look like a ton of the top people are going to be there anymore. Like, I don't think it's a terrible idea to do Becky and Bianca one more time at SummerSlam, just kind of bring everything full circle.
Yeah,
you got to bring up the thing that people get really mad about then, but like,
I get you. I understand. Match should be killer. Should get a lot of time. I will set the line, Bobby. I will set it at a 7.5. Over under for the triple threat.
I'm going to go over. I think it could be the match of the night.
With that in mind, the assumed main event, Andrew says they may have even announced it, which wouldn't surprise me because it is the Hell in a Cell match. Cody Rhodes, Seth freaking Rollins, they did an awesome segment on Monday where Cody cut this great promo and they did this extraordinary old school pro wrestling brawl. Cody is great at that stuff. And Seth matched him all the way. Great segment. This has been good stuff throughout. They've killed it with both matches. Are we confident they're going to kind of produce a worthy, final piece of the puzzle here, Bob?
I think so. I was a little concerned with Backlash where like, oh, they're not going to top the Mania match, and I think they might have.
Yeah.
Obviously it didn't have the moment and the spectacle, but I think just from a pure match standpoint, they might have. And they're clearly very comfortable working with each other. It's been the house show main event for 2 months now.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're really going to go out with a bang. We might actually get some blood here.
Yeah. What do you think? What's the chances of blood? What's the chances?
I don't know, man, because I thought they were going to do it in Roman Brock, and they never did. But listen, I mean, you need something here. It's going to be your main event. It's your biggest match. You're in Chicago. Just do it. It's fine. Like, who cares, right? Like, I understand. Like, the blood is what it is, and it's not a family-friendly thing. But it's the first time you've done it on TV. Like,
and it is behind a paywall, and it's
exactly.
Yeah. The same platform that once hosted Halloween Kills, Bob.
Yeah.
A lot of blood in that. Spoiler alert. Who do you think's winning this one, though, Bobby?
Probably Cody again.
Do you think it will be a discourse if Seth wins?
Probably.
Probably. It kind of should be, right? In some ways, I guess.
He hasn't won since before WrestleMania. Like, that was the whole thing going into Mania, that he kept losing, and then he's just kept losing since then.
The problem with this is, if you wanted to split the results, it feels like Seth should have won the last one, and you have Cody win this one.
Yeah.
So now that you've had Cody win first, it kind of you have to just have Cody win all of them.
Yeah.
And
I mean, we think what we think about Seth, but he'll be fine. Like, he could be a guy that can win Money in the Bank as well.
I genuinely, the thing is, I know there'll be a lot of bad faith but what I mean is, like, I'm trying to figure out what the results should be. and it just sure feels like Cody should just keep winning.
Yeah.
I do think that it's one of those things where I'll see it in motion. Like maybe they'll do it in a way where it isn't crazy that Seth wins. I don't know. I need to see it first, but I think Cody's winning. I think Seth's the kind of character who will be fine with that and rebuild accordingly. Rating wise, I'll set the line and I'll set it an 8.25. What do you think? Over under?
Go over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you think? She's going to go over a 9? Or do you think she's
No.
going to be in that? Yeah.
Yeah, probably like an 8.5 or so.
It'll be really interesting. I will say as we wrap up here, a couple months ago I had this talking point about Cody and kind of what makes Cody interesting is he had that Jeff Jarrett element of people were not convinced he was a real top guy, because he kind of, right or wrong, he had got the rap of he'd associated himself with stars outside of WWE that had a cool factor. He was an executive vice president at AEW. Is it fair to say that through 2 months, Cody has erased that? He's a top guy, isn't he, Bob?
Yeah, he's been one of their best booked male baby faces in recent memory.
And best booked is one thing, but he's been one of their best performing.
Oh, yeah.
Baby face. I mean, seriously, if we were drafting the WWE roster, who would you take above him on the male side? Roman, that's it?
Yeah, probably.
Because, I mean, Brock's great, but he's, Brock is part-time, and that's nothing wrong with that. But Cody's really, I think he's done a really great job in WWE. He fits their TV format well. His promos, like, they rein him in a way that's good, which is a good example of where some guys are going to be better fit for one promotion than the other. I think, I don't know. This is interesting. He says, I'm going to devil advocate one of your common comments. I think if Cody wins the title, he'll push Mox the rest of the year. Mm-hmm. I think Cody will be one of the contenders for the rest of the year from the perspective of like a Sports Illustrated or an ESPN because he has like a great story for the year. I don't know if his match quantity will match up to someone like Moxley. Does that make sense, Bob?
Yeah, no, it gets tough, when guys are only able to work in one place. And I get it, that's how they do things. But like when you have guys that are able to work against people they wouldn't usually work and kind of all over the place and kind of expand their range a little bit. Like, do I think a guy like Roman or Cody, if they had those opportunities, could do that? Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it's not a talent thing. It's just, like, if you look at his match output, I like matches with, like, the match with Fury he had. I thought he was really good. But that isn't going to help his case in, like, a big picture wrestler of the year case. Now, his 2 pay-per-view matches have been great. I think we're both confident his third one's going to be great. It's just, as you said, in one place, it's very difficult. And obviously, he was out of the game for what? He missed, like, 10 weeks? He missed from the Sammy match to WrestleMania? Something like that. That was January. So, it'll be interesting. He's definitely one of the wrestlers of the year just in terms of the story. I mean, good Lord, it's been an incredible year for him. But, okay. My God, I'm getting OneDrive folder share with me now via the confirmed shoot, Bob. This is very exciting over here. All right. Hell in a Cell, Bob, any final thoughts on where the Fed stands as of Thursday night here, the 2nd of June?
No, I mean, I'm still looking forward to the stuff in the summer. Like, I think the SummerSlam build's going to be good. I enjoy Money in the Bank just for the ladder matches themselves. I think the concept's kind of played out, but I like a multi-person ladder match. They have some exciting stuff coming up. They have an MSG show. That's the week of SummerSlam. They have, so like the pieces are there. It's just on them to make it interesting.
I agree. I think they're in a better spot than they were like a year ago, pretty clearly. They've got a major issue with like a couple major, like the kind of real stars feeling inactive. That's like a weird thing. This Roman situation is really difficult. But I think it speaks more to where they were at last year. I watch like bits of Raw every week. I think there's good stuff there. I think Cody has been a massive help. Randy I need Randy back in the game as soon as possible. There's definitely some good signs. I wish SmackDown was fun. That'd be nice, wouldn't it? But we'll see. Maybe they'll get there eventually. Okay, folks, this has been Fed Dead Redemption. We'll do like a weekend review on Monday, right? In some form or fashion. We'll try and do something special for Monday and like a Cell NXT kind of combo review. So that'll be Monday in terms of Fed stuff. Tomorrow night, Retire the Rankings will be on at 5 p.m. Eastern. It'll be a super show in which we list wrestlers from the last 2 weeks. They get double the points. All good stuff there. Then we move over to latenightgrin.com for the Late Night Grin itself, episode 41, Bobby.
Yep.
Have you heard about our big segment this week on
No.
the Grin? So we're back in our old time slot, and the segment of the week is the Oracle of Wrestling is going to list his list of wrestlers he likes in AEW. Then we're going to decide what the list is for JR, and we're going to see which list is bigger.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah. But most of that content is just going to be us deciding if Jim Ross likes people or not, which sounds incredible, really.
Yeah. You know, we're early again next week if the hockey goes long.
Come on. Go long. I'm dreading it, man. It's like, you know how late that is? I can't believe I used to do that shit every week. It's insane. It starts at 3 a.m. That's the most ridiculous time ever. Anyway. Rampage's got the Bucks and the Lucha Bros, right?
Yeah, it's been pretty good.
Scorpio and Dante, Athena and Kiera. Yeah, it's a strong show. I bet they get one of those like wacky darks, like the one you got too. Remember when it was Rampage Live? You got that crazy dark with like all of the. It will be fun. So that's what we have to look forward to here on the Grin. There's something coming up in this next few weeks that is going to be a scene, isn't it, Bobby? It's going to be something. It's going to be big time. I'm going on a holiday here in a couple of weeks, so things will come to a slight lull in the middle of June. But there's a lot coming up, and Forbidden Door Week, we're going to do some fun stuff. We may do a Beach Blast Grin along at some point. Oracle and I've been someone suggested and it popped us, so we might do that. If you have suggestions, always ask. Always send them our way in the DMs and stuff, or either on @LateNightGrin or one of our personals. Probably mine. I mean, Bob really wants to use DMs suggesting stuff, but you can if you want. Terry Funk won Grin Grappler, so we'll be announcing the match lineup soon and the date for that show.
Yes.
Many, many grins ahead. We hope you've enjoyed tonight. Is anyone on Twitch that we can raid? Is anyone on Twitch that we can raid that would actually respond to our DM afterwards? If not, we'll simply end. But I just wanted to be respectful, Bob. You're a big Twitch guy, Bob. Anyone on Twitch?
I was gonna pull it up real quick and see.
Yeah, one of those bad wrestlers over there on Twitch, I probably shouldn't do that. Right? I probably shouldn't say bad wrestling and immediately send it to them.
No, probably not.
Yeah,
I don't see like any wrestling people on at the moment. Yeah, we might just have to end.
Cowards. All right. Lexi is not on Twitch. No, I'm pretty confident of that. Good Lord, man. Bobby and I would just have like daily panic attacks of the latest things she said on there. Oh, fuck. What's happening now? Lindsay Dorado is on.
Yeah.
Anyway, we're going to end. All right. We hope you've had fun. But in the meantime, enjoy this outro. Oh, how?